Let's be honest, everyone's got a great mate called Trev. I even have a favourite uncle called Trev. And you'll notice that there's a man called Fred Dagg, and he had a swag of sons called Trev. Trev is always associated with being an all-round good bugger and a bit of a legend, but Trev is also a computer software here in New Zealand, which is a new farm reporting software, allowing farmers to build a database of operational information in a quick and easy format that only takes less than 10 minutes per week. Can you believe that? The team at Trev have been head down working hard testing and building an integration with the financial reporting software Figured, and are very excited to be able to share the developments. And our next guest, Scott Townshend, the CEO of Trev, joins us now. Kia ora, Scott. It's a privilege to have you on and talk about this. I absolutely love the dairy farmer to tech entrepreneur journey type stories.
Hey Sarah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been a pretty cool learning curve making that change.
Hey, so tell our listeners and viewers just about the background of where you were and that pivotal moment where you started to build what is now known as Trev.
Yeah, so I guess Trev probably came out of a few frustrations around farm data. So in some previous roles on farm and one in particular in a corporate farming business, I was having a bit of a tough time around gathering data, building that data up, making sense of it, and most importantly, doing it all regularly in a timely manner for really quick decision making. I felt there probably wasn't a tool specifically out there for farmers. Nothing that would let me collect my information, about my farm or farms easily, and then spit it back at me, specifically for my farm's day-to-day decision making or weekly decision making. So I wanted something that had real productivity and profitability drivers, and something that let me really easily share information with about my farm's performance with other people. So that might be my farm staff or discussion groups or the board or the bank. So I probably also had a bit of an issue as well around the control of my farm's data. So my information was sort of sitting in a range of different platforms and tools, but it just wasn't mine as such. So I wanted something where I could access my own raw information and be able to calculate from it. So that's sort of what we set out to achieve with Trev. Started with spreadsheets, like I think a lot of people do, but they're not really designed to collect and store and share data. So long story short, we built Trev as this online farm reporting tool for farmers to build their own database of information, and we facilitate it through this weekly reporting process, like you say, less than 10 minutes a week, store it in the cloud, and then let the farmers access, analyse, share the data all within the same platform.
Now, visualizing data is only as good as the data that's being put in. And I mean, that's the one thing with spreadsheets is such manual entry, and it does can have, human error there. What are some of those things that you've got that can plug in the data from all the other on-farm tools that you are using?
Yeah, data quality is a big one. So, some of the mechanics that we have in there, data validation, rules in there that mean that, we only accept sensible information. We truth that information against itself. So, if you put in data point A and data point B over here, and if the two don't really make sense, then we want to, let you know about that before you carry on. And we've got a few other bits and pieces in the pipeline around trying to integrate data from different platforms and get Trev and other platforms talking to one another, so that we're all talking from one source of information, and that data is accurate that way.
What would be an example of an integration or a way of things effectively talking to each other and helping out day-to-day running of a farm?
Yeah, I think I always jump to livestock in terms of the example of lining data up across systems. I feel like there's about, you might have livestock numbers in about 5 or 6 different places. So, it might be what's actually on farm, what's in your spreadsheet or your Trev reporting, what's in your livestock genetic database, what's in your accounting software, and what's in your financial records. So, so we think that an integration such as the Trev figured one is a really great way of starting that alignment. So, making sure that the same numbers that people are operating off for on-farm decision making align with what's in your accounting software. And then the benefits of that are that you get the right people using the right tools. So the guys on the ground might be using Trev to record livestock movements, that sort of thing. The guys in the office might be logging more into your financial products like Figured or whatever it might be that is the product that suits them. But ultimately, they're all talking about the same numbers.
I mean, any form of decision making comes down to the old adage, what's in it for me? And when it comes to farming, a lot of it is connected to dollars and cents. When you were operating and starting to formulate this as a tangible tool, what were some of those abilities to either save money or work out ways to increase income from being able to see data collectively?
Yeah, so I think time was a real big one. I mean, we were by creating a streamlined reporting process, we just stripped out so much time across the system. So that's the time that a farm manager or a contract milker, share milker might be spending reporting about what's going on farm. They're the best position to know what's going on. So minimising that time. Maybe there's somebody in office that we're really minimising the time in terms of aggregating that data. And then the time to share it. You can share stuff with a click of a button rather than finding something, curating it into a chart and sharing it with via email or whatever that is. But in terms of some of the dollars and cents savings, I think minimizing loss has been a real big one. So being able to put your farm's performance up against some other farms that you might be sharing information with on Trev. So that might be within a farming group or a discussion group or with some mates down the road. Being able to share that information on Trev and see how you're performing against them, and preventing becoming an outlier before it happens. And so that regular flow of weekly information is really critical in doing that.
And that is one thing that is missing from the farming industry is sort of instant feedback and benchmarking, where farmers just want to know if they're sort of on average or above average, really, don't they, at the end of the day? So where Trev can go is very exciting as more and more get on board. Now, I know, Scott, that you're heavily passionate about the agri-tech ITP that the government has formulated and the lack of interoperability, the big word, which basically means telling software to talk to each other, but the people behind it maybe also to talk to each other.
Yeah, that's right. I think everybody's got their bit to play. I think the most important thing is that in 5 years' time or whenever it might be, we end up in a situation where farmers have a suite of tools that they can pick and choose. Not all the tools are suited for every farm, but the situation where, for my farm, I can pick and choose the tools that I want, and I know that these tools are going to talk to one another. So my livestock data here for operational reporting is going to flow in and be the same numbers in my financial software. So that's the key. It's got to have farmer interests at heart.
Absolutely. And we will be talking to a professor in psychology, would you believe it, around this overload of technology on farmers' innate ability to understand nature as they farm. But at the same time, it's the motivations of any use of any service, isn't it? If it improves somebody's life. And so there is no bounds on where technology can go, but understanding adoption is something that's more than just having the latest whiz-bang thing. So how do we increase farmer adoption? Because there's certainly not a lack of amazing tools in the industry.
Yeah, that's right. I think I think technology is just ingraining itself on farm. So there's a bit of a time element to it. But I think the things that we can do are just breaking down some of the barriers. So things should be fast, things should be easy. You shouldn't have to have a PhD to drive a tool. You should just be able to pick something up and know how to use it. So I think those are the key things.
And also too, when you're developing as well, it's like speaking a different language both ways, isn't it? From a farmer to a developer, and a developer back to a farmer. And I know personally a lot of farmers get very frustrated that the people that have built the tools don't understand how they are used on a day-to-day basis. How have you navigated that with Trev?
Yeah, I guess the previous roles that I've had have really well positioned me for that. I've got a bit of a love for data and like playing around with things, but sort of equally know how it should be used. So yeah, in a bit of a lucky position to be able to speak to developers, but put that into farmers' speak. The main thing is, I think for us, is that we keep it really clean and simple. And any of the complicated stuff, we leave it under the hood. So, farmer has a nice clean interaction with entering data or raw data or viewing data, and all of the sophisticated stuff, whether it's the machine learning or artificial intelligence, whatever. Keep the hard stuff under the hood and just present it back in really meaningful ways for decision making.
And lastly, I know anyone that has that task of sitting in the office of a farming operation will want to know that there's good quality support only a phone call away should they need it. Otherwise, they won't even bother signing up to a software. Can you assure that?
Yeah, absolutely. So our first port of call is our live chat mechanism. That's the most efficient way for us to deliver support. But yeah, absolutely. On tap, on a phone, if you need it. The reason that we go down the intercom live chat track is that it's also a bloody cool tool for us to collect farmer feedback, tag it out, and help us prioritize development. So if we get these cool ideas coming in, lots of farmers want the same thing. It's really easy for us to bump it up our product development priority list.
Awesome. Fantastic. Scott Townshend, the CEO of Trev. I highly suggest you go and have a check out on the website and see what you think. I think it's pretty cool on initial looks. So certainly lovely to be able to delve into that more.